years after the Aventador launched it, eventually has a successor, and this is it. It's called the Revuelto, which is named after a bull that fought in Barcelona in 1880, but it also means something in Spanish. It means to mix up or turn around, which is apt because this car is a big turning point for Lamborghini company. Every Lamborghini that follows after this one is going to be electrified in some way, but don't panic just yet because there's two big reasons why this is still a proper Lamborghini. So this is Acceleration Hub, and let's find out what's there in the new Lamborghini Revuelto. So the first is the styling. It's about as subtle as a roundhouse kick to the temple as all big Lamborghinis should. And back here we've got a 6.5-liter naturally aspirated V12, but everything isn't quite as it seems. Yep, you guessed it, it's a plug-in hybrid. Except here the electrified part is less efficiency, more insanity. The tweaked V12 on its own produces 814 brake horsepower and 535 pounds-feet of torque, and it will now rev all the way to a screaming 9,500 RPM. The V12 is paired to 3 electric motors, 2 on the front axle, driving a wheel, each and another integrated into a new 8-speed twin-clutch gearbox. So there's 4-wheel drive, there's a 3.8 kilowatt-hour lithium-ion battery that can be recharged on a 7-kilowatt outlet in 30 minutes and delivers an EV-only range of around 10 miles and a maximum total power output of 1,001 brake horsepower, which means not to 62 miles an hour in 2.5 seconds, not to 124 miles an hour in 7 seconds, and a top speed of over 2 seconds, 117 miles an hour.
Let's start with the powertrain. We see, as it's right here on full display, no engine cover whatsoever. Absolutely love that as a design detail. If you've got a massive, great V12, you might as well shout about it. So the engine itself, it's 17 kilograms lighter than the one you've got in the Aventador, and crucially, it's been rotated a full 180 degrees with the gearbox stuck on the back. Now, only 2 other cars in Lamborghini's history have ever had a transverse rear gearbox, the Mirror and the Essenza SCV12, which was that mad track only Aventador, so it's in good company. But the reason they've done it here is to free up space down the center spine of the car where the transmission would normally be, so you can house that 3.8 kilowatt-hour battery. Clever stuff. Now the gearbox, it's an 8-speed twin clutch. It's been developed entirely in-house, Lamborghini says. It's both lighter and has faster shifts than the 7-speed twin clutch gearbox you get in the Hurricane at the moment, and that's no slouch, so it's great news. Also, the worst bit about the Aventador was that single clutch gearbox, so much speed and incompetence in that car, and yet when you switch the gear, you've got that big, slurred, nodding dog effect. But anyway, that's all gone. Great news. And then on top of the gearbox, you've got an electric motor that produces 148 brake horsepower and has 3 purposes. It is a starter motor, it is a generator, so it can feed energy back into the battery, and it can supply additional power to the rear axle in conjunction with the V12. And then if we come to the front of the car, you've got more electric motors, 2 more to be precise, on the front axle, and that unlocks many things, 1 motor for each wheel. These again produce 148 horsepower. Each they weigh about 18.5 kilograms each, but that means you get 4-wheel drive, you get torque vectoring or improved cornering, and you don't need a reverse gear, because when you want to stick it in reverse, it's the e-motors that do the reversing. And get this, if you want even faster reversing and more grip when you're going backwards. The motor at the back can chime in 2 deliciously useless, and then there's the chassis. It's all new, and something Lamborghini calls the monofuselage. Essentially, it's not just the monocoque that's carbon fiber, but the entire front structure too, making the chassis 10 lighter than the Aventador and 25 stiffer. There's also 4-wheel steering, significantly stiffer anti-roll bars, front end. So I'm getting shades of Hurricane Technica here where the orange bumper wraps around. And you've got these sort of Predator-style fangs underneath this car. Has active aero on it. So you've got flaps in the front. You've got a movable wing at the rear, 66mm downforce. Then you've got with an Aventador, so 21 inch at the front, 22 inch at the back. You've got bespoke Bridgestone tyres on one 4% wider front tyres. So that should eradicate any understeer whatsoever. And the latest generation, ceramic discs. Except here, they're 10mm wider than you got on the Aventador Ultimate moving down the side of the car. Lots and lots of aero devices. As you expect, this winglet here behind the front wheel just smooths the air down the side of the car. To the right, this vast array of intakes here, which just got the air in these are for cooling this one up here, is the engine intake. And you might have to get a bit lower, actually get a good angle with these incredible flying buttresses here. You might get some fresh air through there now. Not sure how much aero benefit they have. They look damn good. And if we come around the back of the car, this for me, always brings that drama. And there is no difference. In fact, this car isn't that much longer than an Aventador, despite having a gearbox behind the engine here. But you get a real sense of it, having this long tail and it tapering towards the rear. And there's just so much going on from this angle. You can see right back to those flying buttresses. You've got the exposed wheels. Where I've said it already, I absolutely love that having got it flaunted, then a series of vents and ducts, and this bit here. This section, this is the movable rear wing, currently sitting flush with the bodywork, and just above these twin exhausts here, there's actually 4 pipes closely in there, and the reason they're set up high is to leave the big diffuser down at the bottom to do its good work to create all that downforce that we talked about earlier. It's quite a thing, isn't it? I could stare at it for hours. Inside. What can I tell you? Well, it's completely new, of course. And the first thing is these seats. So they're nicely bolstered. The middle sections are quite different. We're used to that from Lamborghini. Of course, whether they will absolutely destroy your lower back on a long journey remains to be seen. There's also quite a lot more space in here than you've got with the Aventador. I like the fact that they've scalloped out the doors here. So there's loads of room for your elbow, and the center stack, the center console with the battery underneath, is at just the right height for resting your elbow on there and then behind the seats. There's actually a decent amount of space for chucking a few squishy bags in there. There's a shelf for putting all your stuff on behind you. A shout out as well to the view that you get in the mirrors in this thing. That's all for now. If there would be demand, I will bring its part 2. Thanks for watching.